What's going on, everyone? So this offseason is going to be very interesting when it comes to the Portland Trail Blazers and Damian Lillard. Portland has the number 3 pick. They are in the best position to rebuild and start scratch, but Damian Lillard doesn't want that. He wants to contend. And he even recently in an interview expressed like, hey, we have enough talent. We have enough assets to go and build a contending team. Let's go do that. Let's go try to win an NBA championship. Because, I mean, look, Damian Lillard has been loyal to a fault with the Portland Trail Blazers. And to be honest, Portland just hasn't delivered, right? Damian Lillard hasn't ever really had a legit, like, okay, this is a team that can win an NBA championship. Yes, I know Portland went to a Western Conference Finals, but that year, nobody thought that the Blazers were going to win the NBA championship that year. It was even a surprise that they were able to get it there. And Damian Lillard is only getting older, right? He's not getting younger. He's not a spring chicken anymore. He's 32 years old. He'll be 33 next year. He's already dealing with injuries. He's an undersized point guard. He only has so many more years left. His window is very small on how effective and how good he can be for the remainder. So he doesn't have 3-4 years to wait for a bunch of young guys to develop and evolve into guys that can help him win an NBA championship, right? He needs them now. His time, if he was 27, maybe, right? Like, oh, you go get like a Scoot Henderson and you have, Sharp and whatever else you get for the future. And if Sharp can evolve into just a quality rotation guy, a blue chip, maybe even a borderline all-star guy. If, say, Scoot Henderson, right? Can Scoot Henderson evolve into a top 15, top 20 guy in the next 3-4 years? Something like that, to where it's like, okay, well, now Damian Lillard definitely has a legit contending team. But he's not in that position. And so he has expressed repeatedly this year, more so than I think he ever has. He's talked about the Lakers more than he's ever talked about. He's talked about the possibility of him moving more than he's ever talked about. Usually he's pretty quiet on that stuff, or it just gives you straightforward, like, I ain't going anywhere. I'm staying with the Blazers, blah, 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 right? And we've even seen, I don't have much of an appetite for building with guys 2 or 3 years away and not really going after it. Damian Lillard has repeatedly expressed Portland needs to go all in, right? And the problem is Portland, it doesn't make sense for them to do that anymore, right? And if they were to trade Damian Lillard, Portland star Damian Lillard named the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets as teams he hypothetically wouldn't mind landing with in the event of a trade. He also said, Lillard immediately said Miami, obviously, noting that the Heat all-star center Bam Adebayo is his dog. He went to call Nets wingman Mikal Bridges his dog as well, and he added that both Miami and Brooklyn have capable rosters. Now, he also was asked, do you think you're going to stay with the Portland Trail Blazers? He said yes. So, again, he's not saying he wants to be traded to these places, he's not saying that he's going to be traded to these places, but again, Portland doesn't make sense to trade the number 3 pick in this year's draft and trade, your young players and your young assets for a 32-year-old guy who's injury prone that you're probably not winning an NBA championship with either. Who are you going to get that's going to turn the Blazers into a contender, right? Like, who? Unless Joel Embiid becomes available, you're not getting anybody. Like, there's no real major highlighted stars that are going to turn around the Portland Trail Blazers. There's not that are at least available right now, unless somebody else comes up on the horizon. So if you're Portland, your best bet is to trade Damian Lillard and just reset. It makes no sense for the Blazers to try to build around Damian Lillard when he's 32, about to be 33 years old. And so if you can send him to the Miami Heat, that makes a lot of sense for both Miami and the Portland Trail Blazers. The problem is like, what does Miami have that makes sense for Portland? Now, obviously, it'd be a package centered around Tyler Hero. So you'd have to do something like that. But outside of that, like, they don't have a world of draft picks. So Portland would be taking very likely a smaller, lesser package from Miami than they would elsewhere, right? Like, say, from a team like New York. But I do believe if Damian Lillard wants to go somewhere and he says, hey, trade me here, I do believe that Portland will do it, right? I've said the same thing about Damian Lillard potentially going to Lakers. You know, I've heard people, oh, Damian Lillard would never, Portland will never trade him to the Lakers, this, that, and the other. If Damian Lillard wants to go to Lakers, they will trade him to the Lakers, even if it means getting less assets. Damian Lillard has been so loyal to a fault. Portland fans, everybody. The last thing Portland wants to do is to screw over the most loyal player in your franchise history. Like, that's not what you want to do, right? So if Portland is better off eating, like if he wants to go, let's say, to the Lakers, Portland would be better off sending him to Lakers and then releasing a statement saying, this was Damian Lillard's decision. He wanted to go to Lakers. We love him and are so thankful for everything that he did. We got bigger packages elsewhere, but we wanted to do right by Dame. That's going to save face so much, right? So the point is that if Damian Lillard wants to go to Miami, even if Miami doesn't have the best package, it's very possible and very likely that he gets traded to Miami. Let's say it is close. Let's say Dame is like, hey, I'll go to Miami or I'll go to the Lakers. And let's say it boils down to those two teams. And, let's say the Lakers give a slightly better package than what Miami could give. In that case, I think Portland would send him to Miami, right? Because I think that they would be like, yeah, we're taking less, slightly less from Miami than we are from the Lakers. But, at least we don't have to see Damian Lillard 4 times a year. That could be something that could sway the pendulum one way or another. But look, Miami needs another star. Miami's in the NBA Finals. They're tied 1-1, at least at the time of making this video. And I would love to see Miami win the NBA championship. I just don't think they will. I just think Denver is a better overall team. I just think Miami is too undersized. I think they don't have enough consistent firepower, right? And Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, has been fantastic, but he needs another guy, right? Bam could be inconsistent at times. Jimmy Butler has to carry such a big load at times that when he's not able to be the Jimmy Butler that we know he can be in the playoffs, Miami really struggles at times and more times than not lose those games. They need that other complementary star. They need a guy that can go get a bucket, that can close down the stretch, that can take pressure off of Jimmy Butler. If Miami had Damian Lillard this year, I absolutely think they win the NBA championship. I actually think that they would beat Denver, even though I think Denver would still be a better team. I just think with this roster, what we've seen, the grind that they have, I think Damian Lillard is absolutely a Miami type of guy. Like, undoubtedly. And so I think it makes a world of sense for Damian Lillard to team up with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo in Miami. Again, it comes down to, how much do the Blazers value a package centered around Tyler Hero, the later picks. Portland would also very likely have to take on long-term salary, which is another issue, right? They'd probably have to take on some, like a Duncan Robinson contract or something like that. Is that something that they want to do? But I love the idea of Damian Lillard going to Miami. Now, look, I'm a Laker fan. If you've been subscribed to this channel or you're subscribed to my Lakers channel, then you know that for sure, for certain. But I want Damian Lillard on the Lakers badly. But if he was going to go anywhere else other than the Lakers, I would want to see him go to Miami. Like, if I remove my bias of no, it has to be the Lakers, like the team that immediately comes to mind is like, oh man, Damian Lillard in Miami would just be chef kiss. Like, I would love to see that. So, removing my Laker bias and just talking as a basketball fan, Damian Lillard in Miami would be beautiful. Damian Lillard also lines up with Miami's window right now and the age of their guys and stuff. So if you can make that happen, I absolutely think you make that happen. And the other team was the Brooklyn Nets. I don't really buy the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think the Brooklyn Nets make a lot of sense. Would Brooklyn be a contender with Damian Lillard? I don't think so. Would they be really good and fun to watch? Absolutely. I mean, because look, you could have, Brooklyn has the pieces to really put around Damian Lillard with Bridges and Johnson and, Vinny Smith. Like, they could literally go Damian Lillard and then 3 and D type guys, and there you go. Or even go like Ben Simmons at the point guard and have Dame be at the 2. And you have all the size, all the length, basically everything that Damian Lillard isn't good at. You have a team that's built for what he's good at. Problem is Mikal Bridges and Damian Lillard enough to win you an NBA championship? Personally, I don't think so. I think they would be good. I think they'd be fun to watch. I think they would kind of be like a Knicks or Cavs team, where they're going to be really good, they're going to be a lot of fun, but are they really a contender? Like, they're young, they're hungry, they, all that. They got that scorer, that scoring guard that can just go get buckets. So they're gonna be in games and all that stuff. I don't think that that's enough to win an NBA championship. But could you go and get Damian Lillard? And then Brooklyn has a whole treasure trove of assets now, and they have a bunch of very talented players that teams would love. Do you go and get and trade for a Damian Lillard and then use whatever else you have left outside of, like, Bridges and, maybe like Johnson or whatever, and try to go get that other star? Right? Again, what star is that? I don't really know, but do you go try to find that other guy? Right? Like, that could be something that we see happen with the Brooklyn Nets if that were to happen. I just think Miami makes more sense. Miami's got great coaching, great organization, great culture. They're every year in the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals with Damian Lillard. They're probably back there again. All of that. So I just think that, and plus there's a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference that are going to be like, what does Boston do? What does Milwaukee do? Right? Do they look the same next year? I think Miami makes a lot of sense because like the core guys are going to be there. Brooklyn's kind of like it could be great, but I tread on the it's probably not type thing. But regardless, look, I just want to see Damian Lillard go to a contending team. I want to see him have a real chance for an NBA championship, whether it's the Heat, the Lakers. Obviously, I'd love it for it to be the Lakers, but no, if it's Miami or if it's Brooklyn or if it's wherever and he has a real opportunity to win an NBA championship, I would love that. Not over the Lakers, of course, but, I do. I want to see Dame, have some success. I think he earns it. He's one of the best players in the league as far as just, notoriety and just, man, myth, legend. He's the point guard version of Jimmy Butler. Just a dog, a guy that, tries to do everything, has had some big moments, and I don't know, I just, those Jimmy Butlers, those Damian Lillards, those kind of guys, it's hard not to root for those guys. It's hard to not want to see those guys have success. And Damian Lillard is one of those guys, and that's why I really like the idea of, putting Dame and Butler together. I just think they're both very similar in a lot of ways, mentality-wise, and I think that they would be a blast to watch. So much fun to watch. But get Damian Lillard some help. Go and trade him somewhere, because it doesn't make sense for Portland. Portland would be foolish to trade away all their young talent to go build around a 33-year-old Damian Lillard. I just don't see that. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree, however you think, whatever your thoughts are, let me know.